Hi, I am Kwon. I am rising sophomore, and this video is a book report of 1984 by George Orwell, which is the homework due to July 31st. George Orwell was born in modern East Champaran, Bihar, India at 1903 and died at 1950 at age of 46. He is a famous English journalist, essayist, and writer who is best known as a writer of Animal Farm and 1984. George Orwell's most famous two books both criticizes the totalitarianism. 1984 is written to reflect degeneration in the Soviet Union after the Russian Revolution and rise of totalitarianism. The latter, life under a totalitarian government. His novel was greatly influenced by William Somernet Maugham, not using any metaphor but only using straightforward depictions without frills. In the year of 1984 was honored with the Prometheus Award for its contributions to dystopian literature. In 2011, his another novel, Animal Farm, had also received it. It is settings. 1984 is set in Oceania, one of three intercontinental superstates that divided the world after a global nuclear war. During the World War II, nuclear weapons had been involved and destroyed many cities all over the world. After the World War II, Britain government had been declared themselves as a totalitarian government and changed the nation's name to Oceania. On the other hand, the Soviet Union had conquered weakened continental Europe and established a nation named Eurasia. Lastly, the third supercontinental nation had emerged in Far East Asia after a decade of war, and it was named East Asia. Even though those three countries are only leftover civilizations, they did not stop fighting. This is the map of new three major countries. Oceania is ruled by totalitarian government, the party. Since they are the totalitarian government, they train people to report people who seems to rebel against the government even though they were families. Overlooked them by using telescreen broadcast 24/7 and with thought police, and distorted the history by using Ministry of Truth. Winston Smith is a member of the middle class society. He works at the Ministry of Truth, where the party distorts and rewrites the historical records to support themselves. Even though he works for the party, he opposes them and dreams about rebellion. He is already committing the thought crime and realizes that he can be arrested. He buys a diary and starts to write about the thought crimes that he is committing to avoid thought criming every time and to be arrested. One day, Julia secretly hands Winston a note confessing her love towards him and the fact that she opposes the government as well. And they begin an affair, an act of the rebellion as the party insists that sex must be used for reproduction of the population. A few weeks later, O'Brien has successfully approached Winston. O'Brien invites both Winston and Julia to swear allegiance to the Brotherhood, the rebellious group towards the government. However, they find out that O'Brien was a thought police. They were arrested and tortured. Eventually, Winston betrays Julia and gets brainwashed. O'Brien tells that Winston will be executed when he readopts to the society. The book ends by the quote, "He had won the victory over himself. He loved Big Brother." Lastly, it is my thoughts. The thing that was considered most important from the party was to thoroughly rule out the creativity and freedom from the ones who were educated. Listening to music, reading a book, and even writing a diary was the thing that people will be surely arrested. George Orwell believed that full dictatorship would be possible if the technology let the public to overlook the people's mind without any disturbance of time and space. Perhaps it is true. Without any transcendental improvement of technology, it may happen. It is not very hard to find the example of this. North Korea already done this thing by educating, or aka brainwashing the citizens. I sometimes think about what if I am also brainwashed and educated like that. By this book, I think I realized that share of many different perspectives prevents people from brainwashing. Thank you.